Hey, what's up everyone? This is Bold Donut from the Never Regret Clan, and today we're here to take you into Machinimate This, episode 14. In this episode, we will show you how to do the sneaking effect as seen in Red vs. Blue. To do this effect, you will need a video editor that can mask. As always, I will be using Sony Vegas 7. However, there are other video editors that can be used. So, without further ado, let's get going. When you begin to film for this effect, there are three things that you need to keep in mind. The first thing is that you have to have a character pop up and then pop down again for a few seconds. This is important because it will make it a million times easier when you go back to edit. The second thing you need to note is that this effect is full of masks and that when you are near objects, they tend to bounce up and down. This cannot be helped, so make sure when you mask the entire vehicle or as much of it as you possibly can. Then, the final thing that you need to keep in mind is that when you have the person or persons working on the vehicles or whatever in the scene, the entire time that you are filming this effect, they need to be there. You will see why they need to be there later in this episode. So, now let's head on over to Sony Vegas 7. Okay, so first things first, you will need to import the clips into Sony Vegas 7. The next thing you will need to do is to cut the clips out where the guy pops up. After doing this, put them together on the same layer. Now, if you plan to do what I did, where at the end the guy sneaks around the edge of the warthog and the guy goes up and kills him, keep this part close in mind when you're filming for this effect and when you go back to edit. Take the last clip where the person is sneaking, pops up, and copy it to the lower layer. Then, expand it to the beginning of the sneaking effect. Then, you will need to mask the guy popping up. This way, there's a very small amount of the objects bouncing up and down at the same time. So, for instance, you will only have the wraith bounce up and down instead of every object there. This will ensure that your characters move together properly and that the effect really works. Another way to do this is, if the sneaking person does not interact with the other person or persons, is to simply record the guy working on the hog at the same camera angle at a different time, sort of like what we did in episode 1, and then simply mask him in. However, if your character does interact, you probably don't want to do this because it then makes it a whole lot more complicated when you go back because you will have to deal with multiple masks. So, now that you have your masks and your underlayer complete, you're now done with this effect. Please, do not send in any more questions to machinimatethis@gmail.com, seeing as though this series is now over. Your questions will not be answered. This is Bold Donut from the Never Regret Clan saying peace out guys, and thank you for watching Machinimate This.